Oh man. Oh man. You know what? I made a mistake here, everybody. I made a big time mistake. I made a huge mistake. I actually uh, I meant to go ahead and go on at what the hell is this on my computer? I meant to set it for. Let me see here. I gotta. Wow, I'm sorry. All right, my computer is doing some goofy stuff here. All right, my apologies. All right, I meant to put this for 7, not 7:15. I just went. I just went to my old way of doing things. So error on my part, getting off the bad start. But hey, welcome to Dan Show, man. I am posting, or I'm actually streaming live on Facebook. I'm back on Twitter. I substitute Twitter for Twitch. And of course, I am here on the YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and just double check everything. Okay, I'm good here. And looks like okay, I'm not streaming live on Twitter for whatever reason. Double check. Okay. All right. All right. So I'm good to go. I'm good to go. Good to go. All right. One pride says Brian Kelly's a horrible fit for. You know, it's very funny because let's just start off with that. Let's just start off with Brian Kelly going to LSU. I'm not surprised that Brian Kelly left Notre Dame, but I always thought he would leave Notre Dame for the NFL. I thought that would be the next step. Notre Dame is a top 10 job. I'm not a Notre Dame fan. But Notre Dame is legitimately a top 10 school. It's one of the top 10 jobs in all of college football. But there's three major things that's bad about coaching at Notre Dame. Number one is the expectations is just sky high. The same expectations that is on Alabama is Notre Dame alumni. I have that same type of expectations. They expect to have a Heisman Trophy winner every year. They expect to win the national championship every year. And honestly, it's really not possible. It really isn't. But they expect that. As a matter of fact, they are expecting a national. You know, it's actually funny because they actually could still get into the college football playoff, which I'm going to touch base in just a little bit. But expectations are incredibly high. Second thing that's wrong is they have academic restrictions. They have much stricter academic standards than any SEC school. Their academic restrictions are actually one of the top restrictions in the country for a team that's has this good of a football program. The restrictions to get into Notre Dame academically are very, very high. You got to be able to pass a lot of different courses. There's a lot of restrictions that is placed on Notre Dame that isn't on any SEC school, or any major football team. Actually, I mean, it's a tough school to get into. And the third thing is, and when I say location, I'm not talking about touchdown Jesus or the campus. I'm talking about Lafayette, Indiana. I mean, you got some of the. I mean, it's kind of hard to get a kid from either Texas or Florida or California and say, "Hey, guess what? Let's go to Indiana for the next 4 years." It's really hard to sell that. And Brian Kelly did a fantastic job. Notre Dame consistently had one of the best recruiting classes in the country. So he did do a fantastic job. Now, the main thing I could think of that Brian Kelly left Notre Dame for LSU, and I'm still floored by this, blown away by this. I think that travel is the big thing, because at LSU, you only got to win in two areas. You got to win the state of Louisiana, which is pretty easy. And you got to win Texas. And when I say Texas, you actually only got to win the city of Houston. The two best cities in America to recruit high school talent is Dallas and Houston. All right. If you can win one of those cities, you can compete for a national championship. Oklahoma, for example, and I'll talk about Lincoln Riley in here in a little bit. they get almost all their talent. The whole team is basically from Texas, and a large part of it's just from the Dallas area. And that's all you got to do if you're LSU. You got 2 states, LSU and Texas. That's it. I mean, they get players from around the country, but primarily you're just recruiting 2 areas at LSU. As far as him being a terrible fit for LSU, I was very, very surprised. Very, very surprised. I don't know if it's a horrible fit. I'll be honest, One Pride. I don't know if it's a horrible fit, but I will say this: I was floored. I was shocked. Jimmy, yeah. The answer is yes. The Lions will win a game. I don't know which one, but they're playing tough. I mean, they're legitimately playing tough. So you got to do something. I do think they will win one game. Remember last year the Jets were like 0-14. They beat the Rams, or 0-13, I think it was, and then they beat the Rams, and then they won their next game after that. I forget who it was off the top of my head, but one thing about the Lions is the defense is not bad. It's not good, but the defense is solid. I think they'll get into a game. I think they'll get some turnovers, and I think that they'll be able to run the ball. And you may see like a special teams mistake, but they'll win a game. Falcons are the last shot they have to win a game. I wouldn't say that. Just, like I said, the Jets were the 2020 Jets were easily worse than the 2021 Lions, easily. And they won 2 games consecutively, and they beat the Rams, a playoff team. So, I mean, it's any given Sunday. And here's the thing. They play hard. The defense isn't bad. And I really think that what will happen is there'll be like a trick play that'll go their way. There'll be a special teams mistake. They'll get momentum, and they'll get a W. I really believe this. I don't know where. Maybe the Falcons. The Falcons, I think, are better than a lot of people think, though. But, I'm going to pull for them. I saw a stat: if the Lions scored at least 20 points a game, they'd be 5-6 right now. So you're right about the D. Offense is useless and some good running. Yeah. The offense is really bad. And I think after the season's over, they'll end up replacing the offensive coordinator. And it's kind of a shame. And, oh, God, I'm 6 minutes into the show, and I forgot a name already. Their offensive coordinator, who is Anthony Lynn. I think Anthony Lynn will be the scapegoat, and I think that they'll move on. They'll get somebody, maybe even from the college ranks. They may get somebody from the college ranks. That's going to be – the Lions are going to be a fun story after the season's over, because they're going to have as of right now, they're going to have the number 1 pick in the draft. They're going to have multiple first-round picks. I think they're going to be very active in free agency. I really think that you're going to see like an atom bomb on this team, and you're just going to see so many new names and so many new faces. I think you're going to see a lot. So, I mean, yeah. And they're going to add to that defense too. So what you see on defense right now is just going to get better. That's the good thing about the Lions. I think that whoever they pick in their very first pick is going to be a defensive player. And let's say they pick number 1, they're going to take Thibodeau, even though there's been talk about Hutchinson's place in Thibodeau. I'm not buying that. However, with the combine coming, if Hutchinson's combine is ridiculous and Thibodeau decides, hey, look, I'm the number 1 pick in the draft, I'm just going to show up, I'm going to answer questions, then maybe Hutchinson. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I would love it if Detroit drafted a Michigan kid. I think that would be awesome, but we'll see. I want to talk about Lincoln Riley leaving OU for USC. There's 2 reasons. There's 2 big reasons why, and it's 2 extra losses. They're guaranteed 10 wins in the Big 12. In the SEC, that drops to 8. They are the best team in the Big 12. And I know that it's Oklahoma State and Baylor. And I'm going to talk about all of the college football championship games that will affect the college football playoffs. So I'm going to go over all those games. I'm going to go over the 4 big games that have implications. And I'm going to give you my picks and then surprise picks. I haven't made any bets on these because I don't know this for a fact. I'm not as well versed in college football as I am NFL, but I'm going to give you my picks anyway, and you can kind of do with it what you will. And then I'm also going to give you my final four. I'm going to give you my four teams that get into the college football playoff after I give you my predictions. So, in the SEC, Oklahoma would be on a tier below Georgia and Bama. All right, they're now, instead of the number one team, which they were, and I know they lost to Oklahoma State, and I what was the other loss? Baylor or something. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Oklahoma has the most talent. They're the best team in the Big 12. At best, they would be the third, and I'm not even sure they're the third best team. So that's why I say there's two big reasons. But at USC, there's talent at USC. I mean, he could come in and he immediately makes USC, I think, better than a top 25 team. He instantly makes them a top 20 team. There's a lot of talent at USC. Notre Dame recruits nationally almost better than anybody in the country. The number one team to recruit nationally is USC. You can sell USC to anybody. USC, in my opinion, is the number one national school in recruiting because they can recruit from anywhere in the United States, even worldwide. You could sell Hollywood. I mean, you know, there's not too many players from foreign countries are playing in college football, but USC is the number one national school for recruiting. So Lincoln Riley, who all he had to do was recruit and win at Texas, now he can choose all over. A matter of fact, there's already I think there's a 5-star quarterback, a 5-star running back that are going from Oklahoma to USC. USC, I would be shocked if they didn't have this year a top 15 recruiting class, and then going forward have top 10, top 5 recruiting classes. I mean, Lincoln Riley going to USC makes their recruiting just explosive. And they should be able to dominate a very weak Pac-12 conference. And it's pretty weak. And if you want to tell me, well, what about Oregon? When Thibodeau leaves and the seniors on that Oregon team leaves, I think that maybe they're a top 20 team. I mean, I love Herm Edwards, and I'm pulling for Herm. They got some good players there at Arizona State. Utah's building something pretty cool there, but they're just going to be a top 25 team. Same thing with Arizona State. There's not a dominant top 10 caliber team in the Pac-12. There's just not. USC now becomes that team. So Lincoln Riley, basically what he had at Oklahoma, he's going to have at USC. It makes a lot of sense to me. I actually thought that he might be more interested in the NFL. Is USC a better job than Oklahoma? I think it is. I legitimately think it is. And if you're an Oklahoma fan, you're bashing me. I'm just telling you, it's a better job because you have the bigger ability to recruit nationwide. You could get the best talent all over the United States, not just from Texas, even though Texas is the number one state and the number one area to recruit. You could still get talent. You could poach top 5-star players from Texas, but you can also get 5-star players from Oklahoma. You can get 5-star players from Washington. You get 5-star players from even Florida and Georgia. You can sell them on USC. And the reason why you can sell them on USC is USC still has more Heisman Trophy winners than any other team. They still have more players in the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame than anybody else. USC is in the tradition, in the history of college football. If you want to argue Alabama is now, but if you go history, it's still USC. And there's so much that you could sell with USC. And I am not trashing Oklahoma. So if you're an Oklahoma fan and you think no, I'm not. It's just USC is just a better job. It really is a better job. It really is. And that's just it. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think Lincoln Riley stays there forever. I think that he hangs out USC. I think he wins a championship or two. And then I think he wants to, he's a young guy. I could see him wanting to give the NFL a shot. Why not? So. One Pride 40 does not like the fit. Yeah, I listen, One Pride. I was floored. By this. I was shocked. I really was shocked. I really was shocked. I had no idea that because I'll be honest, if I don't have a dog in a fight, I would probably want to go to Notre Dame than LSU. I mean, all things being considered equal, I would probably consider Notre Dame a better job than LSU. I just would. I mean, you got to be able. Look, you got to recruit against Bama and Georgia. Those are the two top dogs. Okay, you got to recruit against Bama and Georgia. Now you got to recruit against Texas. I know Oklahoma's not located in Texas, but basically the whole roster's from Texas. So you got to recruit against Texas, Oklahoma, and Texas A&M. I mean, I don't get. I'm still floored by it, but the only thing that he can do we're Notre Dame. You can't just recruit Indiana. All right, let's face it. If you're Notre Dame and you're just recruiting regionally, like Indiana, or even though there's a lot of talent in Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Michigan, a lot of people don't know this, but Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, parts of West Virginia, New Jersey, there's some top talent. But if you just recruit that area, that central, north central, and northeast, you can't build a team to win national championships. You can't. You just can't. So you got to recruit players from. Matter of fact, there was I think it was De La Salle, one of the top high schools that's in California. Notre Dame has a couple of players from De La Salle. They have a nice pipeline with them. I don't know exactly what the connection is, but they do. They may get that type of talent in the LSU. Maybe I don't know. But yeah, I'm shocked by it. But here's the thing: maybe he doesn't like to travel, and if he doesn't like to travel, LSU can get more top talent with least amount of travel than anybody in the country, because all you got to do is win LSU and Houston. That's it. You don't even have to recruit all of Texas. You can just say, I'm going to get the top players from Houston. I'm going to get you will get the top players from Louisiana. I mean, there's no doubt there. You will get the best players from Louisiana coaching at LSU. He's a big enough name that he's going to go into any 4 or 5-star recruit in Louisiana, and he's going to get that player. And you win Houston, you can compete for a national championship just with those two alone. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. U of M better be careful or they could get burned. Michigan could get burned. Are you talking about? Okay. I'm gonna skip some of your comments here. Well, the reason we've been beating you, no, that's not true at all. You haven't been winning the battles. University of Michigan has more top players than Michigan State. I'll be honest, man. Man, you're gonna hate me for this. You got lucky. All right, you got lucky. You were down by 14 or 16 late in the third. They put the freshman quarterback in. He fumbles the ball. You recover. You got that running back, Kenneth Walker, who came from Wake Forest. I don't know how he has allegiance to Michigan State. He's going to be gone. Michigan easily has more talent, but you got lucky. You got lucky, and you're a good team. You're a legitimate top 25 team, but bottom line, that freshman quarterback that Michigan has, he doesn't fumble. You guys don't recover that. They go down, they score. They win by a couple scores. I mean, really, Michigan had that game won, and Michigan State, fantastic job. But you're not winning the backyard battles. Michigan has easily more talent. I guarantee you Michigan will have more players drafted than Michigan State. That's just a fact. You're not winning the backyard battles. Michigan easily will always win the backyard battles. Now, with this new contract, that may change. But as of right now, Michigan has a much higher recruiting class than Michigan State. I don't even know if Michigan State is the top 5 or top 25 recruiting class. I don't know. But I do know Michigan does have a top 10 recruiting class. I know that for a fact. You're not winning the backyard battles. So this is just not I don't think he can win the backyard. Now, with Brian Kelly, the answer is yes, because that's a tough sell. I have no idea, but I'll tell you this. If you're a 5-star player coming out of that Southwest region. All right. Matter of fact, it's kind of funny. Chiefs linebacker Willie Gay. He was a 5-star player in Mississippi. He was the Mississippi Player of the Year. And it was a big upset because he stayed in state, and he stayed at Mississippi State. Now, he only played 9 games. He had some issues. But that was considered a massive win for Mississippi State, and they thought it would, kind of continue on a trend. At the time, I had to double check, but at the time, I think Dan Mullen was still the coach at Mississippi State. He was the one who convinced Willie Gay as a 5-star player. Because if you're a 5-star player, a 5-star defensive player, usually go to Alabama. I don't think Brian Kelly can go into a 5-star linebacker's home and say, choose me over Nick Saban. I don't think he can do that. And that I agree with you. USC over LSU, yes. Yeah, USC is easily a better job than LSU. And the reason why is because you could recruit nationally. Now, if you're a kid from Houston, you may be more apt to want to play at LSU rather than USC. But USC will end up hosting 25 to 50. I'm probably exaggerating. I guarantee you every year USC is going to try to legitimately grab 25 5-star players, which is almost everyone in the country, where LSU is only going to be able to grab the 5-star players from a very small part of the country. If you're a kid from, let's say Ohio, let's use Ohio. Brian Kelly may have some ties with, Ohio and Indiana, but if you're a kid from Ohio and you're a 5-star player, you have a better chance of going to USC than LSU, in my opinion. You may actually be honest with you. Ohio's a bad state because you'd want to go to Ohio State. Let me change that here. Let's say you're LSU versus USC and Washington. Well, Washington's not a good state either. God. All right, let's use my neck of the woods. I mean, every now and then there's a 5-star player in the Kansas City area. I mean, matter of fact, Isaiah Simmons went to high school 10 minutes from here. He was a 3-star player, believe it or not. Now, well, he was listed as a 3-star player, but Clemson doesn't recruit 3-star players from Kansas. I can tell you that. So they had him ranked higher. But let's say you're a 5-star player. Drew Lock. Me and Drew Lock went to the same high school. He was awesome. Drew Lock was a 3-star player, but he started as a true freshman. I'm trying to think here. He just retired recently. Darren Sproles and Isaiah Simmons went to the same high school, like right over there. Darren Sproles was almost a 5-star player. I think he was a 4-star player, and he went to K-State. Darren Sproles comes out. He's easily going to go to USC over LSU. Unless, there's something else. But yeah, USC is a better job than LSU. I think it is. If I was, it's funny. If I was Brian Kelly and I had my choice between USC and LSU, I would have taken USC. But I know that there's some ties with the athletic director and stuff. So yeah, our recruiting class is ranked. Okay, I didn't know that, but Michigan's is in the top 10. So you're not winning the battles. Michigan's going to get a better recruiting class, and they're going to put more players in the NFL. That said, you beat them the last 2 years. So, I mean, take pride in that. And I'm not trashing your school, man, but you said you're winning the battles. You're really not. You're really not. Michigan's going to get better players, and I would be shocked if they didn't beat you guys next year. But, I mean, I'm pulling for you. I'm pulling for you. Don't feel like I'm against you. Denver Gator in the house. Man, I know Denver Gator is excited about Sunday night. Let's go Chiefs. Let's go. We talking some college? Yes, we are, man. Come on, Dan, give me a shout out. I think the last few weeks I proved I know. Yes, you do. Matter of fact, I didn't put it on the list, but Denver Gator has been saying that I think his name's Brian Napier, the University of Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns. He's been saying for the last several weeks that he will take over as the head coach of the University of Florida. And I have been saying just the opposite. I have been saying that, no, it's going to go to a bigger name. And anyway, Denver Gator knows his stuff, man. Denver Gator knows his stuff. So, yeah, you're right. I'll be honest with you, considering LSU got Brian Kelly away from Notre Dame, this is got to work, man. It's got to work because they did have a top 10 recruiting class. I think Florida now has dropped to like 25. But the one thing about Napier is he knows his X's and O's. I think and I think you mentioned he has some sort of ties with Florida. But you know your stuff. And I'm going to give you my predictions of the 4 big games. I'm going to give you my 4 big games, and then I'm going to give you my final 4. Oh, we got Antonio Gates Jr., so that's cool. Michigan is ranked 13th. So in different sources will tell you different things. What I saw is that they had top 10 class, but 13 is a better number than 20. I did not know you got Antonio, but you got another tight end, and I don't know his name. Has a long dreads. I think number 8. And then you also got Cam Hayward's kid, which is really cool. So you have some really, really good tight end talent. Whoever that number 8 is, I'm like, oh my God, that's an NFL tight end. So you guys got some. Michigan State is really up in their recruiting battle in that Big Ten. I think it's Big Ten East. You got Michigan, you got Ohio State, you got Penn State. Now Michigan State's becoming. Michigan State's going to be ranked. Penn State's going to be ranked. Ohio State, of course, is going to be ranked, and Michigan's going to be ranked. And all 4 of those guys are not even in a conference. They're in a half of a conference. So it's awesome. It's awesome. Michigan State's doing some great things. I'm not trashing Michigan State. I am not trashing Michigan State. So, you mean number 6? That's okay. Is it 6? Okay. Yeah. That's an NFL tight end. Yeah. A lot of Lions fans considering Hutchinson and keeping him in Michigan. I know Thibodeau is the big name of Hutch legit. Matter of fact, ESPN, I think, had an article that Hutchinson could replace him. And yeah, it's now a legitimate conversation. It's legit. I still think Thibodeau will be the number 1 pick. And I think when everything's said and done, but yeah, it could. And I personally, I'm a little biased because I've gotten a lot of love from Detroit in my show for the last couple of years. So I'm not going to try to pretend I'm a Lions fan, but I got a lot of love for Detroit. So I would love it if a Michigan guy was drafted by Detroit. I would love it. And I do think Hutch would be a good fit for this team. I really do. I really do. But I still think the pick would be Thibodeau. But we'll have to wait and see. But Hutch is better at 100%. 100%. Actually, to be honest, I think Thibodeau's a better fit in a 4-3. Funk, who hasn't jumped in yet. Funk would disagree. Funk thinks he's a 3-4. I think Thibodeau's a pure 4-3 guy. Hutch is 100% a 4-3 guy, but I think Thibodeau's a better 4-3 guy too. So, but that anyway, differences of opinion. So Hutch is, yes, he definitely is. That's one thing. That's one thing he does. I do like that part. And I really don't think management will jump in, but I kind of could see management saying, hey, let's get this local kid. He'll sell a lot of jerseys. And that's something bad franchises do, by the way, is ownership gets involved, for sales. But I would not be surprised if it was something that they looked at and said, I think seriously, if they evaluate both players and both players are about the same, I think they go with the local kid just because you guarantee some jersey sales and some enthusiasm, which I think Detroit, to be perfectly honest, after when you have the number 1 pick in the draft, you kind of could use enthusiasm. If I'm Hutchinson's agent, and even though I know he doesn't have an agent, but if I'm Hutchinson's agent, I'm like, please go to Houston. Because in that Tampa 2 defense, Hutchinson's built for that Tampa 2 defense. I mean, he's perfect fit for that. He would actually be a perfect fit for Robert Saleh's wide 9 type of defense. I mean, he really fits perfectly with either Houston or the Jets and what they're trying to do. If I'm Detroit, though, I've been saying this since before the season started that they're running the wrong defense. They should run a 4-3. But if you're going to run a 3-4 and you have to choose between Hutchinson and Thibodeau, I think you choose Thibodeau, where Hutchinson would really – if I'm Hutchinson, I would love to go to Texas. I would be a great fit. He would just – that defensive line instantly becomes really, really good. And he would also do really, really well in that wide 9 defense in New York. So Hudson's like, he does. I'm not going to lie. He really does. Okay. I am going to break down the 4 conference championship games. And I'm also, you know what, before I even click on the MyBookie, because I haven't even looked yet, I'm going to give you my prediction of Western Kentucky, UTSA, University of Texas, San Antonio, and I'm going to give you the Oregon-Utah prediction. I got Oregon-Utah on the DVR. I'm going to watch that later tonight. I have no idea what's going on, but I'm going to give you my prediction. I think University of Texas, San Antonio wins the game. And I think Oregon's going to win. Oregon's actually a 2.5-point dog. Utah may be winning by 50. But my prediction is Oregon. And if I remember correctly, Oregon was a 2.5-point dog here. And I'm going to hop on my bookie and I'm going to give you all my predictions. Okay, because the game started already. Hold on here. I have to go to a different place. Okay, University of Texas, San Antonio is up 28-13. So, okay, never mind. And right now, Utah's up 7-0. But I strongly think that Utah wins that game. Oregon wins that game. Sorry, Oregon. Yeah. Okay. The big 4 games I want to break down. Oklahoma State, Baylor. Oklahoma State's a 6-point favorite. I think they win. I've always loved Oklahoma State. I have a man crush on them. By the way, look up if you haven't already. Why didn't I put a link below? I should have put a link. Look up Mike Gundy. I'm a man. If you haven't seen the rant, if you're a member of this show, you've probably seen it. It's one of the best things in the world. But I like Oklahoma State. Cincinnati is it was 11, now it's 10.5. I actually think Houston wins this game. That's kind of like my upset pick. I may actually put some money on Houston. I think Houston actually wins. I think it's a big upset. And then another massive upset. I like Alabama to win. I think Alabama wins. I think Bama upsets Georgia. I really do. They're 6.5-point favorite. I might put action on Bama. And then Michigan is 11-point favorite against Iowa. I actually not only think that they win, I think they cover. I actually think that I think Michigan wins big. I think they did just crush Indiana. So that said, here are my final 4 predictions in order. Number 1 will be Alabama. Alabama, after they beat Georgia, will be the number 1 team in the country. They get in. They're number 1, but some people will say, thanks to a blowout win by Michigan, that Michigan deserves it. Michigan will be number 2 seed. Georgia, despite losing to Alabama, Georgia will be the number 3 seed. Georgia will play Michigan in a fantastic game. And number 4 will end up being Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State sneaks in. They will play Bama in that first game. So my final 4 will be, it'll be Alabama, it'll be Michigan, it'll be Georgia, and it'll be Oklahoma State. Now, some of you are going to have some questions. Okay. What if Georgia beats Alabama? Does Alabama get in? The answer is yes. Even with 2 losses, Alabama will still get in. The difference is that instead of being a 1, they will be number 4. And which means they would have to play Georgia again. I think Oklahoma State gets in, and I think Michigan with a win, they're 100% in. Michigan wins, they're in. Georgia doesn't have to win, and neither does Alabama. Now, a lot of people feel like Cincinnati, if they win, they're in. That's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true. If Oklahoma State wins by big enough, Oklahoma State will leapfrog Cincinnati, and Cincinnati will get the – I'm going to be honest. I'm pulling for Cincinnati to win. I want to see it happen. I don't think that they're going to win. But even if they do, I think the committee votes them out. And I think that they put a 2-loss Alabama team in instead. And I think that they get the middle finger. So, yeah. Hey, I had a whiteboard session show up in my feed today with your breakdown of the Tampa 2. Great stuff. Any other vids out there from you? Are you considering the same? I have been dying. I actually have a whiteboard behind me and like 7 markers. I have been dying to do more whiteboard stuff. I am so glad you watched it and enjoyed it. I thought about breaking down I've been wanting to break. That video was a long time in the making because I've been dying to break down the Tampa 2 defense just because it's a great defense, but you have to have certain things work, and there's holes that you can attack in that defense, and you could argue that I think the wide 9 to cover 3 Tampa 2 is all very, very similar. It's a little more man in the wide 9 and in the cover 3, but basically it's all kind of similar. But I absolutely love doing that. I thought about breaking down the zone read offense. That Gary Kubiak made famous. It's kind of what the Minnesota Vikings are using. By the way, Gary Kubiak's kid who's taken over as the offensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings, even though it's only his first year and he's really, really young. Do not be surprised if he gets some head coaching offers because that offense is phenomenal. I thought about breaking that down. I thought about doing some breakdowns of the Chiefs offense, but I thought it might be a little humoristic. And I kind of didn't want to do that because I thought that a lot of people were like, oh, but I've been itching to do that. I love doing that. It was so much fun to do, and I've been itching to do that for a while. The whiteboard's behind me. I'm not joking. What happened is I worked at the video I did that place in is an old school. They made it into a flex pod area where they have different companies working, and you have access to the building 24/7, which is pretty cool. So I got one of the classrooms, and I just, I locked it up and, set up everything on my phone, but it was a lot of fun. It was pretty cool. And so they were going to throw away the whiteboard. I promise I didn't steal it, even though I probably would have stolen it. And I did steal about 7 markers from there, but they were going to throw this whiteboard away. And I always talked to the janitorial staff. They came in, I talked to them, and one of them had a crush on her. I have no idea why, because the dude is a skinny Mexican guy. It is just he's worked the big fat white girl. Anyway, he liked her, and he's like, is she single? And I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't touch it. But anyway, so he got along good with me. So they're going to throw it away. So I was like, can I take it? And I just took it in my car. And yeah, I stole a bunch of markers, but fuck them. But anyway, yeah, I'm dying to do some more whiteboard stuff. Dying. I have a whole pot of coffee behind me. I'm ready to get some more. Tim Wallace in the house. What's up, bro? Great show so far. Also, it was America today. Shotgun. Holy shit, man. Tim shotguns all day. I cannot tell you how jealous I am, Tim. I have not been shooting in a very, very long time. My buddy sold me back my Glock 19X, and I've been wanting to put like at least a couple hundred rounds through it. And then my old Glock 19's just dirty as hell. I need to just take that thing apart and scrub it. So, that's awesome. I'm jealous as hell, but yeah, that's so awesome. My predictions: Georgia, Oregon, Iowa, Big 12, Oklahoma. Wow, Iowa over Michigan. A Michigan State fan thinking Michigan's going to lose. Let me ask you this though. Okay, so let's say Georgia wins, Michigan loses, Oklahoma State wins. Who's your Final Four? But give me your Final Four playoffs, because Michigan would be out, Oklahoma State would be in. Is Bama out? Does Notre Dame get in? Does Cincinnati get in? I want to hear your 4. That I'm a man rant from Gundy taking the heat from the media, going after the players, basically telling them bring the hate to him because he's a man. Nope. Yes. The one is without question. You know what? After the show's over, I'm probably going to watch that rant. And for those of you that don't know, there was a sports reporter that trashed one of his players, his quarterback at the time, because quarterback wasn't living up to expectations. Turns out to be that he had a death in the family. I want to say his mother or sister got sick, and he just wasn't able to perform. And so this reporter attacked him. So they win a game, and he brings that paper and just screams at the he didn't attack the reporter directly. He attacked, which I thought was very classy, because it would have. I'll be honest, that sports reporter was a woman. If that sports reporter was a man, he probably would have called that man out by a name because it was a woman. He said sports media. But he was furious, and the kid had like a death in the family, or his mom was in the hospital. It was something bigger than sports. So ever since that rant, I've always pulled for Oklahoma State, with all things being equal. It's kind of funny when I think it was One Pride 40, he talked about Mark D'Antonio was able to just bring 2 and 3 star players into Michigan State. He was always able to. Same thing with Oklahoma State. Now Oklahoma State occasionally gets some NFL talent. I mean, there's occasionally a player drafted in the first round or the second round or the third round, but their talent level is way below what Oklahoma has. I mean, Oklahoma, that Oklahoma team, they had no right to compete with that Oklahoma team, but they won because I think superior coaching. And, I would love to see Mike Gundy get like a ton of 5-star recruits, but he's never been able to do that. He basically gets the Oklahoma leftovers and he builds them into a top 25 team. And I'm always pulling for him, but yeah. Oh, by the way, Carr's a transfer and he don't wear gloves. I love players that don't wear gloves, man. How did you know I love that? Yeah. Gators, whiteboard stuff. Yeah. It's I actually almost went to I almost went into high school coaching and I ended up not doing it, but I came very close. There's a large part of me that would love to coach high school football. Just I love the game so much. It's just that with kids being the way they are today, I could see myself getting fired very easily. I would not. I honestly don't think I would be able to last a whole season if I was able to be my true self. I think that like if I was in the state of Kansas, you can coach without being a teacher. In Missouri, you have to be a teacher to be a coach, and there's no way I'd ever want to be a teacher. I thought about like could I be a gym coach, and I couldn't be a gym coach. I could not teach at a high school. I would love to be able to coach like at a junior college. Seriously, like if I retire and I end up with millions of dollars, I may go to a small college and hey, kind of be like a grad assistant or something. I would love to do that like for a year. And another thing is I'm not a morning person. I am when the sun goes down, I kind of wake up, which is really goofy, but I'm not a morning person. So that's another thing, but yeah. Oh man. Oh yeah, I know. I do. I see like this girl, like she hit on me, and she had like her teeth were all spaced apart and they're all yellow, and oh god, she was not attractive. This dude. I'm like, dude, come on, man. I mean, like, I'm like, dude, no, dude. She outweighs you by 75 pounds. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, dude. She sucked. Not only was she ugly, she sucked. She had like a shitty attitude. She had a thing about yelling. I'm gonna stop my rant right there, but she was just a shitty human being and disgusting. She hit on me constantly. So Georgia, Pitt, Utah, Michigan, possible upsets to watch. Houston and maybe Baylor if if Oklahoma State loses. Okay, yeah, because Baylor is still ranked in the top 10, but even with two losses, Baylor cannot get in, but Oklahoma State can. So, wow, Georgia, Bama. Okay, no, I'm gonna stop. No, Baylor cannot get in. I'm going to tell you this right now. A 2-loss Baylor team cannot get in. And the reason why they can't get in is because Notre Dame with 1 loss will get in. There's no – but then here's the deal. I'm not disagreeing with that Baylor's a better team than Notre Dame. It's just that Notre Dame's a bigger name, and it is about economics. So, yeah. It's about economics. I agree. Dude, no, he was one of the janitorial staff, and dude, like one of, I know it's going to sound weird, but like just trust me, like she had that body of boom. But anyway, they brought in a janitorial staff, and I talked to him. I don't know why I always talk to the janitors. It's just a damn thing. So anyway, I talked to one of the guys, and it turns out to be it was a crew that did all the areas in the Kansas City area. It sounded like a lucrative business. I had this one girl, and I mean, it was like bam, and like she couldn't speak English, but I was like, yo, girl, what's up? You want some DAN? And she was like, oh, senor, hello. And I was like, okay, well, yeah. But I mean, she had the bam, and so like I'm like, dude, like you're working with this smoking hot girl, and then there's this, So anyway, I every place I go, I always talk to the janitorial staff. I don't know. It's a Dan thing. But by the way, if you think you're better than a janitor, you're wrong. You suck in life. So anyway, I've always been nice to the janitorial staff. Every place I go, every place I've ever worked, I've always like struck up a conversation with janitorial staff over something. I've done that almost everywhere I've gone. I've done that for about 20 years. It's a Dan thing. I don't know why. Anyway, he spoke like semi-broken English. Like if I spoke like 2 sentences in a row, he would just nod, and I could tell like he couldn't really understand what I was saying, So, but yeah, he is like, he tapped me and he like pointed to her, and I'm like, yeah, and he like single, and I'm like, oh, gross, but I was like, I'll talk to her, and I did, and she's like, oh no, I don't, yeah, I'm too busy getting high and eating cupcakes and getting fat. You should come over. She actually asked that. She asked me if I wanted to come over. I'm like, fuck no. But yeah, I actually almost did that too. So anyway, yeah. But yeah. Dude, seriously, like I'm maybe they were family or something, but like she was hot, man. I'm telling you right now, just trust me. She was just smoking hot, and everybody's got a type, I like that. Like, I got a thing for tall women, but she was like 5'2", and like, just that. Okay, I'm all right. Sorry. Anyway, do you think Spags has a better scheme going, or their D just got their stuff together? Yeah, what it is, Tim, is that the defense that Spags runs is based with the front four getting pressure on the quarterback and tight man coverage. So when you can't get pressure with the front four, the man coverage goes away because the Chiefs don't have elite corners. Chiefs corners are average, maybe even below average. They don't have good corners. But when you get pressure and you play tight man coverage, it causes a lot of turnovers. So with Frank Clark being out, what the Chiefs did is, how can we get our best 4 linemen on the field? Well, their best 3 linemen were 3 defensive tackles. So they took Chris Jones, they put him to the outside and made him a defensive end. And then during the offseason, they got, Regor, or I forget who it was. Anyway, he's a spot player now. And they said, okay, we're going to kind of rotate our 3 defensive tackles, even though the defensive tackles they got, none of them can really rush the passer. And then we're going to have Chris Jones on the outside. Anyway, it did not work. So Frank Clark came back after his first 3 weeks. It took him a couple weeks to get healthy. And then when he got healthy, Chris Jones went down. Chris Jones is their best defensive player. And I did a video with Big Chief Sean. Big Chief Sean doesn't like him. I have no idea why. But anyway, Chris Jones was banged up. And he wasn't healthy until after the Tennessee game. Okay? So you get those 2, and you put them in the right positions. Okay? Then you add Melvin Gordon. So now you got 4 legitimate pass rushers on that defensive line. And then Anthony Hitchens, who won't be with the Chiefs next year probably, he understands the defense enough. He was able to put the players where they need to go. He was out for a couple weeks, and the rookie Michael Bolton, I don't think his name's really – I keep calling him Michael Bolton, but his last name's Bolton. I know that for a fact. He's playing some really good ball, but it was too much for him to play middle linebacker, because the middle linebacker is the quarterback of the defense. You have to be able to put people in the right positions. You have to quarterback the defense. And even though Spags' defense by NFL standards is not overly complicated, it's way too much for a rookie to come in and play. And then Willie Gay, don't forget, Willie Gay was out for a couple weeks with an injury. Then he got healthy. He had all these mental issues. I follow him on Twitter. He posted some stuff that no NFL player should post on Twitter. And I thought he might be out for the year. I thought it might be like a mental health issue. Nick Bolton. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, thank you, One Pride 40. Thank you. Yeah. And the reason why One Pride 40 is a big Chiefs fan. He's turning. He's now a Chiefs fan. I'm surprised it's not a Chiefs player on his the picture. But anyway, Anthony Hitchens is able to put the players where they need to be. And now that Chiefs defense is healthy, that's all it is. The defense has been the same everywhere he's gone. And it's a very simple premise. It's front four, blitzing occasionally, put pressure on the quarterback, very tight man coverage, extremely tight man coverage, which if you watch the Super Bowl against Tampa Bay, the defense can get a lot of penalties. The defense can get a lot of penalties. But if you have a referee crew that lets everybody oh God. I loved Office Space, man. I love that. I love the Office Space, man. I love Michael Bolton, but you must really love Michael Bolton. Oh yeah, he's pretty good. Oh God, that is so awesome. Yeah. So yeah, the scheme's always been the same, Tim. It's just getting the players, and you have to understand something. Chris Jones might be the second best defensive tackle in the National Football League. He's that good. Frank Clark's pretty good. Not $100 million good, but he's pretty good. I don't even know if he's a Pro Bowl caliber player, but he's really good. When they got I just said his name and I instantly forgot. When they got him, he was with the Chargers. He went to USC, South Carolina, not USC. And he was at Pittsburgh. Now he's with Kansas City. He wears number 24. Melvin Ingram. Okay, I'm sorry. So anyway, so now they get Melvin Ingram. So Melvin Ingram, Frank Clark, Chris Jones, and the defensive line's very, very good. And those three defensive tackles that are rotating, they're now just one. So it's Jaron Reed, Kalen Sanders, and Derek Noddy. So those three guys kind of rotate and they're fresh. So Jared Reed, he got his first sack. They give him $8 million and played worth of shit. So yeah. Yeah, it's just a question. And by the way, this offseason and during the draft will be very interesting. The Chiefs address the defensive line or they go after a wide receiver in the first round. So yeah, the Spags scheme's always been the same. It's just been injuries. And if the Chiefs defense goes into the playoffs healthy, they're the team to beat in the AFC easy. By the way, Oregon, man, I got on DVR anyway, One Pride. Yeah, I know. So, okay. Now, you said Baylor was going to win. So if Baylor wins, here's the deal. If Oklahoma State wins, they can maybe get in, but Baylor can't. So if Baylor wins, they still can't get in. Yeah, exactly. Denver gets hit first. If Bama loses, they are still a 2-loss team with a way bigger audience draw on the SEC bias. Still won't get in. Notre Dame 1 loss with no conference championship needs. Losses from Oklahoma State. See, this is where I disagree. I think Bama with two losses will get in. I really believe that. However, I think Bama wins. I think Bama wins against Georgia. I really, really believe this. I think Bama wins. They get in. But I think with a loss, I think either way, Bama surprises everybody and gets in. But here's the drill. If Alabama loses, Cincinnati loses, and Oklahoma State loses, then Alabama will get in. I think Alabama gets in no matter what. I really believe that. I really believe that. There's so many things I want to watch now. I want to watch I haven't seen this movie in a long time, man. What a great movie. By the way, if anybody hasn't seen Office Space, go and watch it today. What a great movie. I think Michigan may suffer from an OSU hangover and might lose in the defensive. That I do agree with. It absolutely could happen. However, I think Michigan really just beats the shit out of Iowa. I watched Iowa several times. They're a good team. There is no. I think that they're just on a tier below. I mean, they're just not that good of a team, to be honest with you. Yeah. I could not word it any better myself, Denver Gator. Iowa is just Michigan light, same team, just not enough talent. Trust me, I hate Michigan, but they can't be taken. No, I agree because I actually agree with Denver Gator completely. I couldn't have said any better myself. It's the same team, just a lot less talent. just a lot less talent. Don't get me wrong. If Michigan comes in and they're not ready, because Iowa, what they're going to do is that they're pretty one-dimensional. They're going to run the ball. They're going to play really, really good defense. And if they can get the running game going, they get an early lead. Yeah, I mean, any given Saturday. But yeah, because I believe MSU go against Notre Dame though. No, Iowa can't. I think Michigan's just got momentum. I think Michigan's just going to. So you have to understand, Michigan's got so much more to lose than Iowa. I think this is one of those things. I really believe that Michigan just comes in and just comes in really amped up, ready to go. I think they kind of I think the momentum's just going to carry forward. You are correct in what you're saying, is that I'm not saying Iowa's a bad team. They got some really good defensive players. That running back they got's really good. He's a lot of fun to watch, but they're just not that good of a team. Well, my prediction may be wrong. Denver on defense, they got all the talent in the world. Iowa or Michigan? They have the cap. What would you do with $1 million? There's so many great quotes from Office Space. You Flair, the Flair, Lumberg. I mean, if you just is, I mean, I'm just telling you right now, Office Space is such a great movie, man. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, what would you $1 million? 2 chicks at once. Yeah, absolutely. What a great movie, man. What a great movie. Iowa does have talent. Iowa does have talent, but not the same level as Michigan. In an NY6, I don't get it. And a Michigan State fan thinks Michigan is grossly overrated. Okay. Iowa, not as much as Michigan. Not as much as Michigan. They just don't. They just don't. And you could be right. I mean, hey, listen, we're going to find out. I think Michigan not only wins, I think they cover 11. I think they really do. I really think they cover 11. So, but look, next Friday, we're going to talk about everything, and I'm going to hear all your opinions. But yeah, I got Oklahoma State. I got Bama. I got I think Houston wins in a major upset, even though I'm pulling for Cincinnati. And I got Michigan. I think Michigan wins big. I really do. I mean, I have no problem saying I'm wrong. And by the way, we're on the same. We're gonna be. Oh yeah, that's right. No, yeah, that's right. New Year's Eve has a. Yeah, I forgot about that. No way in hell it's going to be a low-scoring game. That I don't know, because I thought in order for Michigan to beat Ohio State, it had to be a low-scoring game, and they put up, 38? And Ohio State, I think, has a better defense than Iowa. So, I mean, I really do. I think Michigan not only wins, I think they cover 11. What was it, 11 and a half? Where is it? 11. Yeah, I think they cover 11. I'm not going to bet on it. I want to be very clear. I'm not betting on any college football, but I think Michigan would cover. I'd bet on Michigan to cover. So, all right. So unless anybody else wants to talk college football, I'm going to start with the NFL. I'm going to break down every single game. I'm going to give you my opinion. I'm going to give you my prediction. No bets so far, but if you go to my website, I went 0-2. I went on tilt and I put action on Minnesota, which they should have covered, but they didn't. And I'll go over all the games here. The very first one on the docket, very ironic, is you're right. You're right more than most people. One Pride 40. One Pride 40 knows his shit. I mean, I gotta give you credit. I'm still waiting for my jersey, by the way. Hit me up one of these days. You can leave it on my email, or I want a jersey. I want a One Pride 40 jersey. I'll wear it on the show. By the way, if you didn't catch it, I joined Big Chief Sean. We did a show on Monday. He just released it yesterday. I thought it was pretty cool, man. I thought it was pretty cool. Give him some love if you haven't already. He's trying to get up to 500 subscribers. He's like at 481, and that's his goal for the New Year's, to get up to 5. Give him some love. He did a great job, and he'll be back on this show soon. He'll be back on this show. So, I mean, I want a jersey, man. I want a jersey. Let me know. I will pay for the shipping. Just communicate with me. There's a UPS store right next. I can walk over there. I'll pay for the shipping. Just let me know. I'll wear it on the show. I do want one. First game on the docket, it's Minnesota at Detroit. Detroit's a 7.5-point favorite. I'll be honest, I haven't had a chance to look at the injury report and who's going to start. I think Dalvin Cook is out. And if that's the case, I'm going to double check on that, but I think Dalvin Cook's out. If that's the case, even though I love the receivers, I would probably take Detroit to cover. I do think Minnesota will win, but I think it's going to be a close game. This is actually going to be a lot of fun to watch. I'm really hoping that I can watch this game. I want to double check to make sure Dalvin Cook's out. Normally, I have a better idea of the injury report. Bear with me. This week's been kind of crazy, so I don't have all the injury report information. If Cook is out, which I believe he is, I like Detroit to cover, but I wouldn't put action on this one. I like Michigan. I like Michigan. We got Michigan on the mind. I like Minnesota to win. I think Detroit covers. This is going to be a fun game, though. I'm really looking forward to this. Next game's Arizona at Chicago. Chicago's a 7.5-point favorite. I do know Andy Dalton is going to get the start, and I think that's the best move for the Bears. I know they're doing this because Justin Fields isn't hurt. Arizona is in really good shape for the 1 seed. I think they're healthy. I think they're ready to go. Chicago has a very good defense, but I wouldn't bet on it. I could see this actually being close. I think Arizona wins. 7.5 is too big to bet on. Chicago could cover. The over-under is 42.5. I haven't checked the weather report. I know Arizona can put up points in bunches, but if it's bad weather, you may want to consider the under, even though it's a very low number. I haven't done enough research one way or another. I like Arizona to win. Again, sound like a broken record. I do like Chicago to cover. If it's bad weather, consider it under. Pride of Broken Clock is correct twice a day. Watch the show with Big Chief Sean. Good stuff. The background music was a little weird first. Yeah, I know, man. I know. He likes that porno music. I'm almost convinced he got it from a porn shot. I haven't mentioned this to him because he likes having music. I thought it was too loud. I thought I tried to have background music in my show, and I wanted to have that old Monday Night Football music, and I might put music into my show later on, but I haven't yet. That's one thing I like about this show, but it does sound like porno music. You're not the only one in the chat. Denver Gators here. Funk's not here though. Normally Funk's here, but I did mess up on the time. But I mean, I've been going on for an hour, so I don't know where Funk is today, but that's okay. That's okay. Funk knows I love him. By the way, I try to read all the comments because if you listen to this afterwards, I know a lot of people listen to us afterwards. I know Corey and Homeland were listening to the show after it's done. I try to make it so that if you're listening to it like a podcast, you can listen to it and be okay. And that's kind of a goal. That's why I try to read all the comments, try to answer all the questions. So I'm trying to make it better that if you join the show live, but if you have to listen to it afterwards, you can, and it's okay. Not to critique, but the music. Yeah, I thought it was too. I thought it was too. I haven't talked to him yet, but I thought it was too loud because the music was like I thought it was. So Funk's probably in Luke. Okay, I could see that. He's more loyal to Luke. And by the way, I love the Luke G. Field review. I haven't been on his show in a while. I haven't joined one of his live streams in a bit, and so yeah, I understand. So no hate on Funk, and I got nothing but love for Luke G. Probably when the season's over, I'm actually going to try to get together with Luke G when the draft starts. Try to get a lot of information from him. Next up, Tampa Bay's at Atlanta. Tampa Bay's an 11-point favorite. I actually, to be honest with you, I could see Tampa Bay covering 11. I would never ask a road team in the NFL to cover 11. I would never do that. So but I mean, you put a gun to my head. I think Tampa Bay's on fire. Atlanta's playing some decent ball, but I mean, I think Tampa Bay's trying to go for the jugular, trying to really fight for that 1 seed, which is, I think, within reach. So, I would never take a road team to cover 11 in the NFL, but I do like them. I know broken record here, but same thing. Indianapolis at Houston. Houston's a 10-point dog, home dog, and I'm pulling for Houston. Indianapolis is fighting for a playoff spot, and why they're not using Jonathan Taylor more is beyond me. I think you get a heavy dose of Jonathan Taylor in this one. I think Indianapolis does cover, even though these games have been traditionally close in the past. So, I could see. I do think Indianapolis, with a lot more to gain, covers 10. But I wouldn't recommend a road team covering. Next game, Philly at New York. Philly's a 7-point favorite. The Jets have been playing better. You got a rookie quarterback. He's going to make mistakes. I like the way Jalen Hurts has played, even though he laid an egg against the Giants. I do think Philly might be able to bounce back. 7's a big number for a young team on the road, but I do like it. I haven't checked out the weather report. This might be one you want to put on the under. This could be a very low-scoring game. Even though Philly has some weapons on offense. It's 45 for the over-under. If it's bad weather, when I say bad weather, remember high winds, you may want to go with the under here. I wouldn't touch this game, but I kind of like Philly to cover. I'd recommend the under if the weather's bad. This is going to be a fun game. Chargers at Bengals. Bengals are a 3-point favorite. I'm still not sold that the Bengals are for real. I really am not sold on the Bengals. I'm not sold on the Chargers, and I've been adamant on that. So this is kind of a big question mark. The Bengals defense is playing good. The Chargers cannot stop the run. The over-under 49.5. I actually love the over on this game. Again, I haven't checked the weather report, but I could see Cincinnati moving the ball up and down the field on the Chargers. My question is, can the Chargers move the ball back? I like Cincinnati to cover 3, but I wouldn't touch this game unless you like the over. But I know you're expecting the Seahawks to be better this season, but are you getting nervous about your preseason bet under wins for the Niners? Well, I did lose officially with the loss on Monday. I lost the Seahawks bet, so I lost 1,000 on the Seahawks. As far as the under for the Niners are 6-5. I feel very good about under 10 because I just need to get 3. I don't see San Francisco winning 5 games. I really don't. I'm getting a little nervous because Pittsburgh's also at 500. They need to start winning. I'd be happy with because here's the deal. If I get a Pittsburgh push and a San Francisco win, I win. If I get a Pittsburgh loss and a San Francisco win, then I take a loss for the year. Unless I do really good on my small betting, which I've just been doing 25 I bet so far. But am I getting nervous? A little bit, but I think I win that. I'm counting on San Francisco to win. I'm still counting that. But yeah, I'm getting nervous. Every win's not a good thing for me. I would have been so happy at 5-6 versus 6-5. Yeah, I'm getting a little nervous. Next game, Giants at Dolphins. Dolphins are at home. They're a 6-point favorite. Giants fresh off of a win against Philly. I actually like Miami. Miami's been playing red hot lately, and I think this is going to be a fun game. I actually really looking forward to this. The over-under is only 39.5. And I know both teams have been playing some really good defense. Again, I haven't checked the weather report, but I actually could see the under, even though I would never take an under 39.5 unless there was something crazy going on. 6 points is too much for Miami, but they've been playing really well lately. So I'm kind of leaning towards Miami, but this is one I wouldn't touch. Even though 39.5 is a low number, I might consider it under. Again, I haven't checked the weather report. Next game is Washington traveling to Vegas to play the Raiders. Raiders are a 1-point favorite. I know a lot of people are really, really high on the Washington football team, but I really like the Raiders here. The reason why I like the Raiders is it's pretty simple. Just go with the better team, the better quarterback. I know the Washington football team's been playing really good ball, but I think that they take a loss here. If Washington does win, I know that there's a lot of talk about Washington being in the playoff push, but nobody's talking about the Raiders. The Raiders are right in the playoff picture as well, and they have the better team. Of all the games I've done so far, this is the one I like the most. I like the Raiders to cover. If they're going to cover 1 point, they're obviously going to win the game. So I would probably just take the Raiders here. Of all the games I've done, I like the Raiders the best. I haven't put action on anything yet, but this would probably be one I'm going to consider. Next game, Jacksonville travels to the Rams. Rams are a 13-point favorite. I'm actually curious how the Rams play against this one. I know last year they lost to the winless Jets, and I could see Jacksonville, being kind of a tough pill to swallow. The Rams not really been working together right. It's hard to believe that all those free agent acquisitions didn't work out, but it kind of has. If you've been paying attention to me for a while, I've been saying this. I think OBJ is a great talent, but everywhere he goes, they don't win. I mean, when he was injured, the Cleveland Browns actually looked better as a team, and notice he goes to the Rams, and the Rams end up losing 3 straight. If you want to take the Rams to cover 13, be my guest. I actually think Jacksonville covers. This might be a surprisingly close game. Keep in mind, 13 is just a big number. I mean, score could be 31-19 and you still cover. So, yeah, the Rams are banged up. So that's kind of why I don't like betting on bad teams on the road, but I would count on Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville might put up some fight in this game. This might actually be an entertaining game to watch. I actually would recommend Jacksonville to cover 13. I wouldn't take it, though. Next game is one that I have interest on, if you paid attention to my earlier conversation. Pittsburgh is hosting the Baltimore Ravens. Pittsburgh is a 4.5-point favorite. The defenses look like garbage. I kind of want to take a look at the injury report and see how healthy Pittsburgh is. But I'm leaning towards taking Pittsburgh mainly because I need them to win, but the defenses look bad, and that's kind of the strength of this team. The offense hasn't looked bad, though. I mean, Pittsburgh put up 37 against the Chargers. Really should have won that game. The defense really let them down, but I'm going to take a look at the injury report. I think the 2 of their corners are still out. Pittsburgh's healthy. I'm going to pick Pittsburgh just because I really need them to win. I think Baltimore probably does win. Over under a 44 is interesting. I'm going to check out the weather report. You may want to take the over on this game, to be honest, because even though both these teams have good defenses, it wouldn't surprise me if they go over 44. Hopefully, Pittsburgh wins this game. So Pittsburgh's healthy. I'm going to put some action on the Steelers. Next game is this is ironic. San Francisco travels to Seattle. San Francisco is a 3.5-point favorite. I might put action on Seattle. However, Russell Wilson does not look right at all. He just hasn't, and I'm gonna kind of keep an eyeball on it. I'm gonna pass putting action on this game, just because Russell Wilson doesn't look like the same quarterback. I mean, kudos to him for being tough and manning up and everything, but he missed multiple throws that he should have made. And then, late in the game, he led that heroic comeback, which I thought was awesome. But I don't know. I may just say screw it and put 25 on Seattle to cover 3.5. And I'm hoping they win, of course, but I don't know. I don't know about this one. And finally, the game everybody here is really, really excited about is my Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Denver Broncos. Chiefs are a 9.5-point favorite. The weather is going to be beautiful here in Kansas City. It's been uncharacteristically warm. It's actually or earlier today, it was like in the 60s. Right now, it's 56. It was 70 yesterday. It's supposed to still be nice. I think there's some rain coming like Monday, but Sunday is going to be beautiful weather. Andy Reid record after a bye is something crazy high. It's like 21-3 or something. I should have had that number ready to roll for you guys, but I don't have it. But trust me, Andy Reid after a bye. I 100% agree with you, One Pride. Kansas City wins this game easy. You don't go against Andy Reid after a bye. The Chiefs are at home. The Chiefs are hot. 9.5 is a big number. The number that I'm kind of circling is over 47. And the reason why I say that is that the Kansas City Chiefs defense has been playing good. The Denver Broncos defense has been playing good. However, this may be the game that you might want to circle over. The weather is going to be nice. And I think Kansas City can put up some points against this Denver defense. So it will be very, very interesting to see what's going on. But yeah, I like Kansas City to win. I don't know if 9.5 is too big. 9.5 is too big. The over-under is interesting because the Chiefs defense has been playing red hot. Denver's defense is really good, but I could see some points in this one. The weather is going to be perfect for football. Sunday night at Arrowhead is going to be electric. As far as prop bets, I'm going to kind of eyeball the prop bets. There could be multiple prop bets that show up on the website. So do pay attention to the website. If you haven't checked it out yet, please note web design is not my forte, but it is up. You can leave comments in there. Please do. It'd be if you get a chance. I mean, check it out. It's pretty cool. To be honest, it's a work in progress, but I'm doing a lot of stuff. So yeah, you can put comments in there. You can put messages in there. You can do all sorts of stuff on it. I'm just putting my weekly picks. That's all I'm doing right now. Is just putting all my weekly picks on there. So you can go ahead and check it out. And if you want to put some of your predictions on there, you can. There's a message board, so you can check it out. Yeah, real quick, I'm predicting Raging Cajuns to beat App State. I'll be talking smack to Van Weiler next week. Yes, please do. I'm assuming you have him on Instagram. I'm still in a group chat. I actually hit up Corey, the Red Sea, and I said, what are the odds that Cliff Kingsbury takes over at Oklahoma? He says, none. Shut up. You suck, Dan. Yeah, but anyway, he did not want to hear that. And there was I forgot the guy's name. There was a name that's associated with the Oklahoma job. So Bob Stoops is taking over for the bowl game, but there's a name, and I'm drawing a blank on it, that's kind of been associated with the job already. So anything over 5.5, exactly 100. Denver Gator. This is probably the line of the day. Is anything over 5.5 in the division rivalry with meaningful games on the line is hard. Exactly 100%. I'll be honest. I almost want to pick Denver to cover, but I wouldn't do that because Andy Reid off of a bye is just hard. And please let me know, Denver Gator, if you need Homeland's Instagram, I will send that to you. But if you should have it. But if you don't, just shoot me a link anywhere and I'll send it to you. I don't know if he's on Twitter or not. I talked to you on Twitter, talked to him and Corey on Instagram, and we're kind of in a group Instagram chat. So, but please do. For those of you who don't know, Homeland is a 35-year-old college freshman living in the dorms, forced to hook up with college boys and girls. So, say a prayer for him because it's hard banging 18 to 19-year-old girls in college. So everybody knows what a struggle that is. Speaking of Homeland, we got Monday Night Football, which is going to be a great game. The New England Patriots traveled to Buffalo. Buffalo, for some reason, is a 2.5-point favorite. The Blitz Predicts and Homeland are New England Patriots fans. The Blitz Predicts, who I had on the show a couple of weeks ago, does sports betting like myself, has a lot of really good betting information. He's been saying that the Patriots are the best team in the AFC, which I'm like, oh, slow down. But I've been telling him that, no, that's not correct. He gets to find out for sure. this is going to be a fun game. I actually don't know if I have a prediction here. But I actually like the Patriots in this one. I do like the Patriots won 5 straight. I think the streak ends sooner or later. Buffalo's going to be a tough place to play. I don't know what the weather's going to be like. If it's bad weather, that 100% favors the run-heavy Patriots. Teams that the better defense is New England, the better running game is New England, the better quarterback is Buffalo. So that's why it's a fun game. The over-under is 42 in bad weather. I would definitely take the under. I kind of picking the Patriots, but I'm not 100% sold. I could see Buffalo just saying, hey, look, we're the best team in the AFC East. We're going to prove it. Losing Tre'Davious White is a massive blow. And that's a big advantage for the New England Patriots. I like the Patriots actually to win this game. I sort of, kind of, so. Not super confident about that. Games I'm going to bet on. I might get crazy and put action on the Seahawks and the Steelers, but my favorite game right now, probably the Raiders. I know that everybody likes the Washington team, but look, you're an East Coast team traveling to the West Coast. The Raiders, I think, are really under the radar as a really good team right now, and they are a good team, and they have a legitimate chance to win the AFC West. Not really, but I mean, they're in that playoff battle, and they're fighting for the playoffs. So I think that they have a lot more to lose than people think. I actually really like the Raiders. That's probably my number one game, but I haven't put any action down. The only social I'm like, okay. I don't think he's on Twitter. I don't think he's on Twitter. And that's kind of why I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I think more and more people are doing TikTok. I've not been a fan, so I'm not on it. I may break down and on it. I'm on Twitch, which I switched over my Twitch live stream to Twitter. The package I got was StreamYard. I can do 3 social media sites, and I haven't done enough with Twitch to kind of get on board yet. Eventually, I'm going to buy the premium package, which costs a little more money, and then I can do both Twitter and Twitch, and I can be everywhere. But being that it's a small channel, but very loyal. I mean, I got Denver Gators men here, even though Pride isn't here. I got one Pride 40. I'm sorry. Even though Funk's not here, I got one Pride 40. You guys have been loyal. You guys have been fantastic. So that's why you can hit me up either on Facebook. You can hit me up on Twitter. You can hit me up on Instagram. You can always email me directly. I will get the emails sent to me. The notifications show up directly on my phone. I got my phone right here. I do get the notifications. I'm not watching porn, as you can see here, but actually I don't even know what's on here, but somebody called me. Who the hell called me during a show? If you send me an email, I get it. And then please check out my website. I'm a neophyte when it comes to web design, but I've been doing a lot of work, and I post all my bets for the NFL Saturday night on my website. So if you go to it, you see everything live. I not only talk the talk, I walk the walk. I'm starting to lose my voice. So. All right. I'm losing my voice. I'm going to go ahead, and I think we're at almost 1.5 hours. So I think I'll go ahead and wrap up here unless anybody's got anything last second. Look, everybody, give me a thumbs up, please. I put a lot of effort. Believe it or not, I have notes and show prep that I did, even though I messed up and had the show going live at 7:15. I'm 7, and that's an error on my part. I set up the live stream very late at night last night. So don't forget, give me a thumbs up before I get out of here. You can contact me. Don't forget www.thedanshow.net. You can always email me. I'll get every notification. If you look at the description below, all my social media links are there. You should be able to get me on any social media platform. So absolutely. And you misspelled Chiefs, but that's okay. Denver Gators a huge Chiefs fan. But hit me up. You can always hit me up, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I get all those messages. I try to respond. If you need any betting advice, Hit me up Saturday. Sunday, I shut off my phone. So, like, if you hit me up Sunday morning, I'm not going to get it. But if you hit me up Saturday night, very late, even Sunday morning, like maybe midnight 1, I'm usually up. So if you need some betting advice, fantasy football advice, anything at all, hit me up Saturday. I'll get back to you. But if you hit me up Sunday morning, I won't get it. So anyway, man, look forward to that. I will respond. Just let me know. Just hit me up, man. And go Chiefs, just like you said. Don't forget, thumbs up. Guys, I'll see you back next week.